Welcome to Sports Gamers Online Stadium here tonight, where in week 2, it's a playoff atmosphere in Baltimore. The 0-1 Baltimore Vultures take on the 1-0 Seattle Nemesis alongside Rochelle Colston. Justin Reside on stats. Charles Doherty, our expert analyst. I'm Cameron Irvine. We got a doozy here tonight, Charles.
Yeah, wow, expert analyst. Thanks, Cam. We're looking at another great game tonight, and we're going to see a lot of talent on the field. Both of these we know Baltimore's always going to put the best players on the field, but Seattle really did a great job in the offseason building up their roster. They've got some studs on both sides of the line. The only thing I would be worried if I was Seattle is I'm coming into the Hornets' nest here. Baltimore came off a loss, and I don't think anybody in their right mind wants to face the 5-time SFL champion after they suffer a loss.
I certainly wouldn't, and I think Seattle would have preferred for them to be the first team to knock them off this season, but they'll take what they can get, as we've had the coin toss down on the field, and it's going to be Seattle getting the football first here from the beautiful SGO Stadium. All right, here we go. We're expecting a good one tonight. Jack Stat has got this at 2.5-point favorites for Baltimore at home, which is basically a push. We're underway. Kick it! As Seattle will bring it out 6 yards deep out of their end zone. John Fullerton out to the 26-yard line. Pretty decent return. And Ty Patak, shifty back there, Charles, takes the snaps for Seattle.
Yeah, shifty's the right word. I mean, he's got one of the highest scrambler ratings in the league. Let's see how they use him on rollouts, maybe some quarterback sneaks. But I'm also looking at the number 2 wide receiver, John Fullerton. That guy is a blazer. I think he's the fastest player on the field, and they're going to have a lot of one-on-one coverage from Baltimore. Let's see if they take advantage of it.
First down and 10 for Seattle at the 26 as we begin week 2's Monday night spectacular. 2 backs and 2 receivers against a 7-man front for Baltimore. They run a counter to Baloo Scott going the other way, and it picks up 1.5 yards. Wrapped up there on the play by Keenan Samuels. This Seattle offense is pretty talented. Baloo Scott, J.W. Doyle, and Dean Jackson in the backfield with Patak. Wide receivers are Ryan Arlovsky, Gus Scott, John Fullerton, and Justice Blackwell. Tight ends Ben Harrison and Paulie Truth on the line. Will Stevens, Olin Thump, Kobe Beef, Matty Mack, and Sean Sullivan as Scott takes a second straight carry and gets 6 yards, wrapped up by another linebacker of this Baltimore squad, Alvin Mack.
I'm curious to see how the offensive line for Seattle holds up against the likes of Baltimore, and they've got some pretty strong folks on that line. But so far, and I know it's early in the game, they've been holding their own blocking.
So third down and short for Seattle. Can they convert the third down? Yes, they do. Baloo Scott with another carry has a first down. So Baltimore's come out running the ball in their Icy Knights uniforms, which is very apropos for a lot of what the country's going through out there. Hope everybody is safe from all the ice and rain and sleet and all that sort of stuff. And Charles has plumbing tonight, right?
I do,
so
yes. And we went a couple days without it, so I can take a shower now, everybody. Stop worrying.
Ty Patak has to be worried about this pressure. Mike O'Neill talked about it in pregame. If Baltimore gets 2 sacks, they're going to be in trouble, and already Baltimore's got one. Robert Brady off the edge.
He just they tried to use a fullback to hold him, and you're going to need somebody a little bit beefier. I know Dean Jackson's at 245, but Robert Brady's got about 30 pounds on him, and is always going to get it on the edge there.
Second down and 12. First play for lost yardage tonight for Baltimore's defense. Now Patak back up against the chains. That blitz is picked up. Finds Baloo Scott, but Scott actually got popped by Troy Loshaw from her backside and dropped the pass. 3rd and long upcoming.
Yeah, I think she heard some footsteps, couldn't hold on to the ball. They're at 3rd and 12 here, and let's see if Baltimore dials it up and puts some heat on the quarterback.
8:16 to go in the first quarter. Seattle does not want their first drive to end in a punt. Going to send Baloo Scott out into the pass pattern. Looks like man coverage across the board here from Baltimore. Nobody really in the middle of the field. They send a blitzer as Ty Patak will shuffle a little bit to his right. Deep pass is caught. First down to the Baltimore 34. John Fullerton. What a dime from Ty Patak.
I said at the top of the game, he's the fastest player on the field. He showed it there, just got enough separation at the end of that pass to bring it in. I was surprised that Patak was able to get rid of that ball. The pocket was going away. It looked like he was going to get hit at any second now. He was able to stand in there and deliver a fairly accurate pass.
First down and 10 after the bomb from Ty Patak to John Fullerton. Toss out to J.W. Doyle, wrapped up by Giovanni Bolt after a 4-yard gain. That Fullerton catch goes for 34. Baltimore's defense has Brady, Al Walker, Ralph Leopold, Nate Brown, and Suron Yates the fourth on that talented defensive front. Linebackers Frank Smith, Keenan Samuels, Alvin Mack may be the best trio in the league. Ben Stackenpaper, Enzo Bolt, Marvin Himes, Elijah Warfield, Sullivan Tyson, Giovanni Bolt, Troy LaShaw, a part of this secondary. That pass is caught. Pauly Truth breaks a tackle. 15, 10. Pauly Truth, touchdown! Made a man miss in Seattle. Starts the game off with a score after being backed up on 3rd and 12. That is how you start a football game as an underdog on the road.
Patak is just zipping the ball wherever he wants to at will. It looked like Baltimore sent a couple extra rushers in to throw him off his game, but he stayed in there like a seasoned veteran, went through his progressions and was able to get it to Pauly Truth. And once Pauly touched it, it was all in his hands and he took it home.
That is a tough matchup as Ben Stackenpaper, 215, tried to jam Pauly Truth, 250 at the line. And Pauly Truth with that neck roll back there, making himself look even bigger than he is. But a touchdown for Seattle gives them a 7-0 lead off of Victor Ironlegs. Well, leg, 8 plays, 74-yard, 2-minute, 40-second drive. Man, Seattle's on top.
That was a statement drive. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better if you're a Seattle fan. Drive down the field, throw it wherever you want at will. No sacks, no mistakes. Impressive.
So Seattle will kick it away. We'll see what their defense can do against this Vulture squad. Daly Holder on the kick return up to the 27-yard line. And last week, Hubba Kimbrell got into the end zone, one of the most underrated pickups of this offseason. He is back there with Warren Murray, T-Roy Gaines, and Jack Wigmore, a very talented backfield.
I'm curious to see in the passing game how they cover Irving and Chima. The cornerback crew of Seattle doesn't have as much speed, but Irving and Chima, I think, are the two fastest players on the offense for Baltimore going up against that secondary of Seattle.
And Ivory Irvin, 10 catches last week as Murray picks up 5. He was defended on that play by Amar Bryant Jr., who was running with him. Irvin is alongside David Anderson, Daly Holder, and Mac Chima at receiver. Tight ends are Caesar Ackerman and Jackson Roberts. Another talented front, Sir Charles, Ray Arnold, Olivia Bleeker, Alden Bleeker, Jay Arnold, and Don Johnson, all a part of this offensive line. 2nd and 5 for the Vultures after the 5-yard run for Murray. They'll hand it off out of a 3-back look, and that is Gaines picking up 3 on the play. It'll set up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, don't look for Baltimore anytime soon to get rattled after that drive of Seattle. I mean, they're all veterans. They've been here before. But they had to be looking at their playbook, seeing, at least on the defense side, what kind of adjustments they need to make. But they need to hold their own and just stick to the playbook on offense.
3rd and short. Again, 3-back look here for Baltimore. Handoff Gaines. Gaines not going to get there. Oh, they did give it to him. Wow. First down. Aaron Gooden with a terrific play. Let's see if we get a challenge.
That was some home cooking on that spot, I'm telling you.
And
it didn't look like he made it at all. There you go.
So, challenge flag is out early for Seattle staff. And, man, Aaron Gooden came out of nowhere. I thought for sure he had it. Let's take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at goretroid.com. Here we go.
He just came flying in there. All of the linebackers for Seattle are incredibly strong. I mean, you think of a linebacker, yeah, they're strong, but these guys are off the charts. When they grab onto you, you're not going anywhere.
And it's overturned. Seattle wins the challenge, and they're going to get off the field on a 3-and-out where Jack Wigmore doesn't even throw a pass. Seattle will take that all night long. And boy, again, couldn't ask for a better start if you're a Nemesis.
Agreed. Both sides of the ball. They're doing what they need to do. Looks like their playbook, all the work they put into this game so far is turning out with some results on the field.
6:10 left in the opening quarter. Seattle's up 7-0 early. Baltimore does not want to start with 2 straight home losses to begin the season, but that is what they're facing tonight. Seattle a 1-point win over Los Angeles last week, 24-23 in a game that they won, question mark, in the final minute. LA just totally botched the execution. Baltimore a little bit better execution in the final minute, but they didn't get the job done either.
I like the way you said that. One with a question mark.
I mean, a win is a win, but yeah, LA helped them out a little bit. 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. 3 wide receivers to start for Patak. He'll drop the throw. Patak, deep, surveys, caught, first down. He's still perfect. Pauly Truth with the reception. That is Patak's 3rd completion.
Yeah, Patak is on fire. They got to do something to put some mitts on him and throw him off his game. If they give him that amount of time, it's going to be a long day for the Baltimore defense.
Pauly Truth with a couple grabs here early. His first one went for 30. That one a little bit less, but still good. That's another sack.
Ooh, there you go.
There's your second already. Frank Smith with a loss of 4 comes in on a blitz unblocked, and Seattle just trying to give confidence in their offensive line. It's going to be a challenge. Look at that.
Yeah, that's what the defense needed for Baltimore. That's what Baltimore needed overall. Frank Smith came in there on a beeline. He leads the team with tackles at 13. Last week he had a sack. Now he's got one early in the game. Let's see if he can add more to it.
Patak drops the throw now. 2nd and long. Dangerous throw and miscommunication. Ooh. Warfield was in coverage. It looked like Patak was looking for a stop route, and an out route was ran instead. 3rd and long.
Yeah, from my angle, it looked like an incredibly short throw to the wide receiver. Maybe he knew everything was covered and just tried to get it out of there without throwing it near any defender.
He's just lucky Warfield was in man and not zone. That would have been pick 6 city. Now Patak out of the gun on 3rd and 14. Already converted a 3rd and 12 on the last drive. Patak out of the gun quickly has to bail as Baltimore brought the house, and that pass is incomplete. Low Shaw in coverage. Justice Blackwell, the intended receiver, but man, he had to get out of there in a hurry.
Yeah, it was starting to get hot there in the pocket, and he had to get rid of that ball, and it threw it right into coverage. But a second there, I thought it was a reception, but now they got a punt.
So Baltimore's defense steps up after giving up a touchdown on that opening possession. A much-needed stop. David Roche with the punt. Deep to the 12. Ivory Irvin on the return up to the 21-yard line. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career. Just meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. And one of the most annoying things about my job, Charles, is when I'm in the middle of an ad read and they decide to show a replay of an 8-yard punt return, and I'm not ready for it. That's just
I thought it was when you had to say Sir Charles.
Well, there's an O in there, so I was trying, I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but I didn't want to give you too much credit for having a player out there. Hand off to Warren Murray, and he gets nothing. No gain on the play. Wrapped up almost immediately there by Seattle.
I mean, you can call me Sir Charles as much as you want. I will not be offended. But so far, the defensive line of Seattle has been making Baltimore work for every yard on the ground.
T.J. Harper with that tackle. Wigmore drops the throw, and Wigmore's pass is caught. First completion of the night for Baltimore's pass game. 6 minutes into this thing, Ivory Irvin with the catch will set up a 3rd and 1.
And he leads the team with 10 receptions. Last week he had a touchdown, but the way that ball was placed by Wigmore, I can't argue, but he threw it on the inside where the coverage was. I was hoping maybe he was going to put it on the outside away from the defender, but hey, he got it in there. I can't complain.
Three-back set. Baltimore feels like they can play some bully ball against Seattle. Obviously, we've seen this multiple times tonight already as T-Roy Gaines takes the carry, and there's some bully ball for you right there out to the 38-yard line. First down for the Vultures.
That looked like a double stiff arm. Oh. That was powerful. I mean, TJ Frosty is needs some smelling salts after that one.
Don't show that to your family. Just tell him you play in the SFL. Just don't show him that highlight. First and 10, 3:45 to go in the first. T-Roy's got 3 carries for 14 yards to start. Murray 2 for 5. This is Gaines with carry number 4, and he gets 6 on the play out to the 45-yard line. Frosty this time with the tackle. Show him that one.
Yeah, way to bounce back in there after that hit. I mean, he's a pro. He knows what he's doing. But it looks like the offense of Baltimore is starting to get in the groove a little bit.
Second down and 4 for the Vultures. Again, back to this 3-back look. See if Gaines is still in. He's already got 4 carries here. Irvin is actually going to be motioned inside. And they'll run it. That's Warren Murray now. Warren Murray, first down and more, up to the Seattle 47-yard line. So you can see the strategy for Baltimore here tonight. They're not messing around up front.
They're not. And on that particular play, every player on offense did what they had to do when they first drew that play up. I mean, blocking was perfect, and the running back ran right through the right gap, and that was a perfected run play.
Wigmore is going to go out of the gun here on first down and 10. Nickel look for Seattle as the drive continues for Baltimore. 7 runs to just 1 pass. They'll hand off on a draw. This is Hubba Kimbrell's first carry of the night. He gets 7. Man, Baltimore doing whatever they want on the ground on this second possession.
Yeah, that was a smart. I love it when they run the draw play on first down like that. They were clearly expecting on the Seattle side a pass, a medium pass, a short pass, and that run was just perfectly timed.
Second and 3, 8 in the box. 1 single high safety. Gaines has to cut it outside. T-Roy Gaines with a stiff arm again, and Gaines has a first down inside the 30 down to about the 28-yard line.
That man is playing angry tonight. Another highlight stiff arm on that run. It looked like he was going inside, had to bounce outside because of how well the defensive line for Seattle was playing. But, man, he put some strength in, was able to knock a couple defenders down. That was a really solid run.
Well, nothing sucks the life out of a dynamic offense like Seattle's than just slowly, methodically moving the football down the field, which is what they have done. Seattle with just 10 offensive plays in the game so far. Wigmore drops back to throw. That pass is caught by Irvin inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line. Irvin's second catch of the night. First and goal, Baltimore.
A previous pass by Wigmore, I mentioned the ball placement. On this play, he put it where only the receiver could catch it. The receiver turned right around and hit him right in the stomach. And number 26, Daniel Valentine, didn't have a shot at all at that ball.
You could tell that Valentine saw the throw, tried to come around the backside to get a deflection, but just perfectly placed from Wigmore. Gets Baltimore the first down. That pass goes for 22 to Irvin down to the 7. First and goal. 3-back set. Irvin alone up top. They hand it off to Gaines. Nearly a sack in the backfield, and Gaines has a touchdown. Wow. Man, Jack Wigmore almost got crushed before he could make the handoff, and Baltimore answers. What a drive.
Yeah, it looked like a blown-up play, just like you said. But, I mean, Baltimore is so well coached. They know what to do when things start breaking down, and they just stuck to what they were told to do and executed perfectly. I mean, this is the type of drive, a couple of these in a row could really take the gas out of a defense.
This is really surprising, Charles, because if Seattle doesn't win this challenge, they are out of challenges. I don't really know. Yeah. Touchdown or at the goal line, it's not really worth it, I don't think.
I think his whole body was in the end zone. I could be wrong. Let's look at the replay.
Unless a knee was down. No? I'm with you, Charles. Everything looked to be in the end zone except the feet. What? Now that's bizarre. I don't know. The only thing I can think of, Charles, is that a heel was down? Is it a heel? Is it a knee? I don't know.
His knee hit the end zone.
That is bonkers to me. The only storyline that we'll probably remember out of that play is that Seattle gets an additional challenge and they don't lose their challenges. So at least that's that for Seattle, but that is just a totally bizarre call. 9 in the box here for Seattle, and Gaines is just going to take it in anyway. All right, well, all's well that ends well.
I mean, the way they've been moving the ball is inevitable. I haven't seen any mistakes whatsoever on the Baltimore side for their offensive play. Their execution has just been spot on.
Seattle's trying to play mind games. I don't know if they're just trying to poke the bear or what, Charles. That was interesting.
I mean, I don't know what they saw, but it was clearly something that you and I didn't.
Well, Seattle's
when they called that challenge.
Yeah, Seattle's had challenge twice. They won both. But pretty risky there as Baltimore gets the touchdown anyway. 10 play, 79-yard, 3-minute, 32-second drive. There's T-Roy waving hi to Mom and all the fans back home in Cincinnati, Ohio. 1:26 to go in the first, and Seattle gets the ball back.
Let's see how Seattle responds to that. I mean, it looks like they were starting to cool off a little bit on their last possession, but they started out on fire. Hopefully they can rekindle that and put some more points on the board.
Fullerton out to the 26. That's where they started their first possession. And here's a look at Gaines having a discussion with Nate Brown on the sideline before Brown goes out there for another defensive stand. Got to be a little concerning, Charles, for Seattle's offensive front. They've already given up 2 sacks in 2 possessions.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're not given time. When they do decide to blitz, Baltimore's not given Patak any time to survey the field. He's just got to get rid of it just to stay alive for another play.
We'll start with one in the backfield. That's Scott at the 26-yard line in a 7-7 ball game. 4-3 look for Baltimore's defense, showing a blitz on the outside. And that's actually some press. Baloo Scott breaks a tackle, and Scott gets a nice little 6-yard gain. LaShaw with the stop.
Yeah, it looked like Giovanni Bolt had her dead to rights in the backfield, but she was able, maybe that was Troy Loshaw, I can't remember, one of the two had her dead to rights, and she was just powered and kept the ball down the field and wound up in a good run where we were thinking it was going to be a loss.
2nd and 4 off the 6-yard run from Scott, and Patak gonna take it himself. Oh, Patak just gets nailed. Picked up 3, but at what cost as Olin Thump scrapes him off the turf, Charles?
I think, was that Nate Brown that laid the wood down on him? I mean, that looks like it's going to hurt.
3rd and 1, 35 seconds to go in the first. And they do hand it off, and Scott is dropped in the backfield. Got hung up just a little bit and couldn't get away. Keenan Samuels too quick, and Seattle back-to-back drives will end in a punt.
Samuels held on for dear life, and had some help there. Maybe got a half tackle there, but it's all started up front when Samuels got through that gap and just shut the play down.
Ron Haynes, a bonus statistician tonight, looking at the replays for Charles. I don't know if you can see that screenshot that we were just given, but actually looks like it was a good challenge from Seattle. The left knee was down for T-Roy. The ball was in his right hand. He does look short of the goal line. Just, he scored anyway, but it is interesting. Maybe the officials aren't so bad after all.
Man, nice shot by Mr. Haynes there. Thank you.
Thanks, Ron. Good look in the truck. Rochelle and Justin holding it down. Statistically, Wigmore's 2 for 2 for 31 yards, but the big story tonight is Gaines 41 yards on 7 carries and a touchdown. Final play of the opening quarter. Seattle 7 and Baltimore 7 as the Vultures have started to clamp down on Seattle. That's a clamp down from TJ Harper. No gain will bring up 2nd down and 10, and that will be the end of the first quarter of play. Seattle 7 and Baltimore 7. We've got another great one here on your Monday Night Spectacular for Week 2 of Season 22. Beautiful shot of the sunset here today in Baltimore. Aerial coverage of today's game provided by Dag's Drone Works, aerial photography and videography services for real estate events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com.
I actually sailed a ship down into that harbor.
Did you?
When I was in the Navy.
Now,
a couple years ago.
When you're in the Navy, do you need a boating license, or is it always? Is that a stupid question? Am I
to qualify? The Navy, you have to go through a bunch of testing to get your certification.
Wigmore's pass caught by Irvin. That's his third grab of the night. But I'm more interested. I want to learn more about this Charles Doherty sailing ships. I need more information.
What do you want to know? I was in the Navy.
Well, I know, but I mean, is it fun? I wouldn't even trust myself.
Oh, I love it, man. That was the best part.
Boat.
Yeah, that was my favorite part. Yeah. The bigger the ship, the better.
Nice. What's the biggest ship that you've ever?
Aircraft carrier.
Is it driven? Is that the term?
Well, I mean, you give commands. My hand wasn't actually on the helm. I was giving as junior officer of the deck on the carrier.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, sweet. Warren Murray, 4-yard gain. You learn something new every day. People like to joke with me, Charles, that I'm a bit uncultured, and I know about football and I know about the SFL and not much else. Maybe a little bit of ice cream here and there, but it's good to learn things.
Well, my consulting rates are very reasonable. We should probably talk about it after the game.
I'd love that. T-Roy Gaines, first down at the 42. I'm not sure Seattle has an answer for this heavy set, Charles, right now. Baltimore's killing it.
I mean, T-Roy Gaines, he's a Hall of Famer, but he's such a smart player. But you saw when that play looked like the gap closed where he was supposed to run. He just bounces it outside and knows where the blocking is. He's smart, and he can execute a play to perfection.
Trips left for Baltimore. 1st and 10, 8:42 to go in the first half. And, I thought they were going to go play action, but they hand it off to Murray. He gets 2. T.J. Harper has been all over the field tonight. That is already his 4th tackle.
Yeah, he is, and he needs to continue that to stop this Baltimore drive. I mean, I don't see any reason why they would need to pass at all. I mean, they've been successful in every run they've tried, pretty much.
2nd and 8. Hand off again, Warren Murray. And Murray pushing forward, picks up a long 7. It's going to be a 3rd and a long 1 coming up for Baltimore, but they do what they can to stay ahead of the chains.
Yeah, does Baltimore grind it up the middle, or do they try and surprise them with the pass downfield? I just stick to what works. But, they've been doing this longer than I have.
Yeah, back to the 3-back set. Gaines is back there. And look, 8 in the box for Seattle. They're trying to counter it as the handoff goes to Gaines. And Gaines is stuffed in the backfield. Loss of a yard.
There you go.
Aaron Gooden, and that, or Matthias Citrion, rather. And that brings up a 4th down and 2. And we'll see what Baltimore does. I think they may punt.
Seattle was tired of us running our mouths about the running game of Baltimore, and they just dug their heels in and shut it down. Great job by Seattle.
They sure did. Gaines at 48 yards on 9 carries, and punter Matty Coffins will angle this out of play. Not the best kick. Sure where it went out of bounds. My guess is about the 18. See where they mark it. Ooh, 1 yard off, 17-yard line.
You're good, Cam.
But not good enough. 1 yard
accurate
off.
Within a yard.
7:24. It's like those pollsters. 7:24 to go in the first half. 7-7 I formation. Type attack, drops to throw. Pressure from his backside, and he just got it away. John Fullerton. That was almost another sack. 2nd catch of the night for John.
Another example of Patak standing in the pocket like a veteran. He's only got a season in the books, but man, you could fool me on that one. The heat was coming in. Al Walker had him dead to rights, and he just stood in there and had a great pass out there to Fullerton.
2 catches for Fullerton, 2 for Truth, and Patak is off to a 4-for-7 start. He is facing a ton of pressure from this Baltimore defense. Hanging tough. Baloo Scott, 18 yards on 5 carries. She's in the backfield. Dotting the I. Oh, there's another blitz and another sack. And this is all happening, Charles, on 1st down. A 4-yard loss. That takedown from Keenan Samuels.
Brady was standing in a 2-point stance there on the outside. I thought he was going to drop back into zone coverage, but he got a huge jump on the outside, and I think Patak had there was nothing he was going to do but hit the dirt on that one. It was a well-executed blitz by Baltimore.
That's the third sack from a third different defender, and that pass is caught by Truth in double coverage. Now they mark him. That's a questionable spot too. Baltimore may challenge that, but Truth again.
Look at the placement of the ball. Patak gets it right in there. It looked like there were two bookend defenders there. That's just silly.
That is perfection, right? I mean, there's nothing you can do better. Right past the ear hole of Giovanni Bolt. No challenge. First and 10 at the 42.5-yard line. Man, type attack. Gets the four-man rush this time. Dumps it off to Baloo Scott. Oh, she's in big trouble. Man, first down offense for Seattle has been ugly. They've been behind the chains almost every time. Mac with the TFL.
I mean, a couple more successful passes like that from Patak. Baltimore may need to reconsider whether or not they want to keep sending the heat on.
105, the viewership tonight. We are already there, and it just goes to, sometimes some teams bring the ratings more than others. It's just a fact, folks, as Seattle and Baltimore are here doing business tonight. What a great first half. Second down and 13. 5:40 to go in the first half of play. Patak drops to throw. Fires down the field. Oh, Truth had it, but the pass a little bit behind him. Tried to stab it, but couldn't. 3rd and 13.
Patak put the ball where he could, the only place he could put it. I mean, the pocket was breaking down again. And, 1 step, 1 second later, I think we would have had a reception in a big game.
I think Ron Haynes is on the ref's payroll. Another great screenshot showing Truth did, in fact, get that first down. Great job, Ron. Sack!
That's just crazy. Sack
on 3rd down. Keenan Samuels second. It's the 4th of the first half for Seattle. They have got to figure this out at halftime.
They had no assignment. The offensive line for Seattle had no assignment where they were supposed to block outside linebacker Samuels. He just ran right up the gap, straight to Patak. Patak couldn't do anything but hit the deck.
Just a whiff from Will Stevens, and Stevens is the most talented of blockers on this line. A 2-time All-Star, made the All-Star game last season in his 5th season, second with Seattle. Just a miss, and it's tough getting those linebackers out of your backfield, especially these Baltimore ones, as this game has turned into a very defensive game. Nearly ran into Ivory Irvin there as he called for a fair catch. Seattle lucky to not get a penalty. First down at the 23-yard line for Baltimore. A clash of styles, Charles, in the first half.
Yeah, I think the defense of Seattle needed a little bit longer drive from the offense in order to get some wind back into them. They're coming back out in the field, didn't have much time drinking their juice boxes on the sidelines.
And they are facing a bruising football team. Baltimore has not thrown a pass to anyone but Ivory Irvin tonight. 1st and 10 at the 23. Murray takes a handoff, and Gooden puts him down after a 2-yard pickup. 5th tackle in the first half for Aaron Gooden as well.
What do you think the odds are they're going to give it to Gaines on the next play?
63%.
Oh, you just waited for the formation. That's just not right, Cam.
I was trying to come up with an answer, and then it just, it kind of got away from me. Now they're going to pass out of it. Second up, it's to Gaines anyway. 2nd down and 8. Gaines out of the backfield, and Mar Bryant Jr. ushers him out of bounds. That was actually a pretty nice play. Gaines gets half, 3rd and 4.
I mean, he's just stiff-arming, just a stiff arm. Anything that comes near him, he's stiff-arming him.
There's a good little wrinkle there from Baltimore. That pass out of the backfield, out of that formation. 3rd and short.
You get partial credit, though, for your prediction.
Thanks, buddy. 4-4 defense for Seattle. They're going to motion Caesar Ackerman outside. Wigmore on 3rd and 4, going to roll away from the blitz. And Wigmore fires that way, caught, and a broken tackle. Chima past midfield to the Seattle 46-yard line. The perfect play call in that situation.
Perfect play call. But he had to get rid of that ball. Wigmore had to get rid of that ball fast because the outside linebacker or defensive end, I didn't get the number, was closing fast, and he delivered a perfect strike to Chima.
Chima was 1 tackle away from breaking that and scoring. Doug Day with the tackle, his 2nd today, actually led the team in tackles from week 1, and that's the first catch for anyone not named Ivory Irvin, Mac Chima with the reception. 3:42 to go in the first half. And Baltimore back into Seattle territory. That one goes for 25 yards as Wigmore will fire. And wide open is David Anderson with the catch. Seattle's defense all kinds of turned around wondering who the heck that is out there in the pass pattern. David Anderson hauls it in.
And they also had their second tight end, Roberts, in the backfield lining up as fullback too. So I think the defense of Seattle didn't know what the heck was getting thrown at them.
And really nice wrinkle there from Baltimore. We have seen some tremendous coaching out of them in the first half. And how often have we seen that this season? Wigmore completes his first 7 passes for 110 yards on the game so far. 3:08 to go in the first half. Yet we are still tied at 7. Seattle holding their own, but Baltimore, ever since that first drive, has really shown their might. 6 down linemen. Seattle brings pressure, and that pass is incomplete in tight coverage. Ackerman was the intended receiver. Seattle shows a different look there, and Wigmore was confused, his first incompletion.
It looked like Seattle lined up in zone coverage, and Ivy Irvin motioned to the top of the screen with Chima, and Chima was wide open on that pass.
We'll get your stats updated here from tonight. We'll get a look at what we're looking at behind the scenes. Hand off to Warren Murray. Murray inside the 10. Murray's got a first down to the 6-yard line. And there is your updated look at your stats. Baltimore rolling right now, trying to take the lead for the first time tonight.
And Jackson Roberts, the second tight end out of the backfield, just laid the hammer on the defender there and gave a big enough opening for the running back to get that first down.
200 yards of offense, 203 to be exact, for Baltimore in the first half. If Seattle could hold them to a field goal here, that would be a monumental effort by the defense, who's been on the field much of this quarter. Hand off to Gaines, tries to cut it out left. T. Roy drags T.J. Harper into the end zone. Touchdown, Baltimore, the second of the night for T. Roy.
I mean, that's just nasty. They had him waiting on the sidelines, getting his energy back up for that goal line run, and you could just see how powerful he is. Hard man to bring down.
On the 29th play of the night for Baltimore's offense, T. Roy, 10 carries, 54 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he has been the difference in the first half. Baltimore brings Shark Tarkington on to kick the extra point to make it 14-7.
And as I said, the defense of Seattle's got to be gassed. I mean, a couple of those series back-to-back really takes the wind out of your sails.
Liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action, and help the channel grow through your support. As this kick is 9 yards deep, and Fullerton's not going to mess with that one. 2:22 left. We saw at the top of the week, Charles, that Fort Worth scored 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes of the first half and kind of, turned that game totally in their favor. That's what Seattle does not want to happen down 7.
And I would not want to put the ball back in Baltimore's hands this half. That would be a bad idea, the way they've been running.
See what they do on first down. Send a man in motion out of the backfield. That's Ben Harrison, the second tight end out there. He's going to go out and block for Baloo Scott, and got 1 block. Scott gets 5 as Frank Smith makes the tackle.
They've got plenty of time. I think they need to walk away with at least 3 points on this. But, they're only down 1 score, but I think they need a long, sustained drive, figure it out at halftime what they need to make adjustments to, and I think they'll be okay coming back.
And Baltimore gets the ball to start the second half, so points feel a little bit necessary here. 2-minute warning here in Baltimore. Sports Gamers Online Stadium, 14-7. Baltimore leads Seattle on the Season 22, Week 2 Monday Night Spectacular with Cameron Irvine, Charles Doherty, Rochelle Colston, and Justin Reside in the stat truck. And bonus screenshots from Ron Haynes, who's helping us with some extra eyes and ears out there, which is always so appreciated, as Scott will cut it out to the right side and pick up the first down to the 32-yard line. I'm with you, Charles. No rush here for Seattle. Don't want to give it back to them.
Yeah, but you do have to have a little sense of urgency. I mean, they're skipping into the huddle here, but this is the point of the game, Cam, where I think it would be interesting if they could bring out Doyle. I mean, Doyle's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of halfbacks. He's a good receiver, a good runner. It would add another dimension, I think, to their offense. Only
one carry so far, 1:35 to go and counting. Ty's changing the play at the line. Gonna change to a pass. Against just a four-man rush, has to get rid of it, dumps it off. Doyle fumbled the ball, and Baltimore recovers. Giovanni Bolt. It may have also been Samuels in there as well, who already has 2 sacks. I think this may stand. Let's get another look at it.
Yeah, and I think I may have jinxed Doyle on that play.
Yeah.
It was good to throw to him, but he had possession. I think that's a fumble.
Yeah, I think that's a fumble. And Seattle's, well, they can't challenge now. It's a booth review. But, wow, that's exactly what Seattle could not do. Baltimore back in scoring position. They can get a 2-for-1 here, possibly a 3-for-1 as they get the ball to start the second half. What a tough play there from Doyle to take. First turnover of the game by either team. Ackerman goes in motion. He's got a target, but no catch so far tonight. Drops to throw, looking down the middle of the field, caught by Chima, down to the 11-yard line, first down Baltimore.
I'm telling you, the defense of Seattle is gassed. I mean, you have to be after those last couple drives, and Baltimore's in the driver's seat here. I mean, I would just keep running it down the gut. They got plenty of time. They've got 3 timeouts as well. I mean, they are clearly in the driver's seat.
Keenan Samuels, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, 4 tackles, and quite possibly a fumble recovery there. Dump off to Warren Murray out of the backfield, gets it to about the 7-yard line. Now Baltimore's going to burn their first timeout, second down.
And I'm curious to see what they do on this. Do they run it? Do they try? Maybe this is the time they want to try one in the end zone when the defense is least expecting it.
Yeah, good point, Charles. Once you get to third down, then they're definitely expecting it. May want to throw here. Second down on the 7. Seattle showing blitz. They back off. Rush 4. End zone. Incomplete. And right where they crept back into coverage, that's where they got the deflection. Doug Day and company.
Every time I open my mouth.
Well,
I wouldn't have said anything. Irvin would have caught that.
You're calling it correct. You're calling these plays. I mean, you're right on it.
Yep.
They're just not executing for you. 3rd and 5. I'm sure they're concerned about your. By the way, when was the last time you skipped? You said Seattle was skipping into the huddle earlier. I'm just curious.
I skipped to the microphone tonight on my way to the game, and I was whistling as well.
Oh man, I would have liked to have seen that. That would have been great. Film it next time. 3rd and 5. Out of the shotgun, Wigmore drops to throw into the end zone. Touchdown! David Anderson again with the catch and the points. He's having himself a banner night.
Yeah, that was the absolute nightmare for Seattle with the turnover, giving the ball back in the hands of Baltimore. They have been firing on all cylinders late in this first half, and Seattle hasn't had an answer how to stop them.
Well, the only good news for Seattle is Baltimore left him 53 seconds, but this has been a meltdown of a first half. They scored on their opening possession. Seattle went 8 plays, 79 yards. Since then, Seattle has 40 yards of offense for the rest of the half.
Yep, and they got up. The offense didn't stay on the field very long.
Baltimore, on their last drives, have gone 4 plays, 26, 7 for 77, 7 for 40, 10 for 83. So, to your point, Charles, it's been Seattle's last 4 drives, 5 plays, 6 yards, 4 plays, 8 yards, 7 plays, 17 yards, 3 plays, 9 yards. Not going to get it done.
Yeah, at this point, I wouldn't try and roll the dice if I were Seattle. I would just run the clock out and look at the pictures, figure out what to do, what kind of adjustments you need to make, and come out fresh in the second half.
Justy is new in the chat. Welcome, Justy, asking if this is a game. Well, it depends on how you look at it, but yes, it is a game in many ways. We are in Season 22 of the Simulation Football League, and all the players on the field you see tonight are represented by real people like Polly Truth. Past the 40 to the 37-yard line. Timeout, Seattle. Just like you said, Charles. Chuck it deep and hope for the best.
Exactly. Not even close. Hey, what do I know? That was great. But Paulie Truth was wide open. He is dangerous downfield. Let's see if they keep pushing it. Try and get in the end zone with a handful of seconds left.
108 yards for Paulie Truth. Gets it to the Baltimore 38-yard line. Fullerton goes in motion as Seattle tries to hang some points before they give the ball back to Baltimore to start the second half, and both offenses now are starting to click. Blitz, attack, quick, and incomplete. Deflected. It's exactly what Baltimore was looking for. Frank Smith, this linebacking core, man, they are just something else.
I mean, they're good in coverage, and they're good in attacking the quarterback. I mean, you can't find any chinks in their armor.
2nd and 10, 41 seconds to go. JustySimulationFL.net is your link to our website. I will put that in the chat for you as we've got a second down here for Seattle, down 21-7. 1-0 nemesis against 0-1 Vultures, but so far it's been Baltimore bouncing back, trying to get home win number 76 of their franchise, as that pass was knocked around and nearly picked. Enzo Bolt was in coverage. 3rd and 10. Seattle's got to be careful here, Charles. Don't want to give the ball back to Baltimore again.
Yeah, no, you don't. Not at all. I mean, this is a tough spot. I mean, do you just go? I mean, get some of the yards back for 3rd and 10. Don't push it too deep downfield, and watch them throw it in the end zone.
Yeah, just need to get into field goal range. Got to get some points out of this. They bring a blitz, and it's dumped off and picked off. Oh, what a brilliant play by Keenan Samuels. This guy is having the game of his life. He went to blitz, and then he stopped. Type attack tried to dump a screen off, and he picked it off.
I just wish we could have get a zoom-in shot on how wide his eyes were when he saw that ball coming to him. Holy mackerel, Christmas came early for Samuels.
I don't think I've ever seen a defender have as good a half as Keenan Samuels has had in this half. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's all over the field, and he's showing, like I said before, the entire linebacker core, showing how they can cover run, pass, as well as blitz.
What a brilliant play. I mean, Type Attack thought he had the screen in spades, and Samuels just stopped as that pass is caught by Chima down to the Seattle 38. Baltimore can take a timeout. Wow. They can score again. This is getting ugly.
Just like that. They're on the edge of the red zone, Cam.
Holy moly.
And they've got a mighty fine kicker as well, so they don't need to go too much further than we're looking at 3 more on the board.
Wasn't too far off that Chima had not even had a target tonight. Now 61 yards on 3 grabs. Holder goes in motion. What's crazy is Baltimore, all they were doing was running in the first quarter. Yep. Now all they're doing is passing, nearly intercepted. Oh. And Seattle's got to take those away, day in coverage.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small victory, but I think at this point Seattle's taking what they can. That was good coverage by Seattle, and not the best decision by Jack Wigmore.
Well, it was a quick pass too for Baltimore, so they only ran 3 seconds off the clock. They still have time. 25 seconds, 1 timeout. Remember, if they have no timeouts and they get inside of 15 seconds, there's nothing they can do to stop it, and the half will end. So keep that in mind as Baltimore tries to get into field goal range. That pass is caught in the field of play. Down to the 26-yard line by Chima. 19 seconds left. They are out of timeouts. Baltimore's got to be real careful with what they do next.
Yeah, I would. Okay, watch me. They're going to do the exact opposite. I'd run. Well, they don't have any timeouts, so I'd just get rid of the ball. If there's nothing wide open deep, just throw it out of bounds and bring out the kicker.
Glutton for punishment tonight. 3 wide. Ackerman goes from right to left.
And it'll be a quarterback draw up the middle for a touchdown.
In motion, nickel look for Seattle. 5 on the play clock. Wigmore drops the throw. Wigmore dumps it off short. Can Murray get out of bounds? Murray gets out of bounds. What a play! And they stop the clock to get the field goal unit on to kick the 3 points. Unbelievable. What great execution.
It's got to be frustrating for Seattle. I mean, they had him dead to rights, and he just powered to the out of bounds mark, just like a seasoned veteran would do.
38-yard attempt for Shark Tarkington. Left-footed kicker off the right hash. We are comfortably inside, and that ball is right down the middle. 24-7. There's the drive summary. 5 plays in 22 seconds. Pretty remarkable from the Vultures. This has been one of the most perfect first halves that I've seen a team play in the last couple seasons. I mean, they've been brilliant in every phase.
Agreed. I mean, it's eye-opening. It's impressive, and like I said at the start of the call tonight, Baltimore doesn't play bad 2 games in a row. Not saying they played bad last week, but man, it's hard playing them after they come off a loss.
Fullerton on the return, and he gets to the 25. Third time he's been at either the 25 or the 26. No halftime tonight with Chris Curtis and Tyler Fall. Chris is under the weather tonight, so we hope that he gets better. I know all about that life from last week. So Tyler has the night off, and we'll have an abbreviated halftime tonight. Hope you don't mind, Charles.
Hey, I'm ready for anything. I just hope that they down the ball and let it go into halftime.
Yeah, this is, and Ty's going to go out of shotgun.
Doesn't look like they're doing it, though.
I mean, Seattle can't turn off the DNA of who they are. They've been pretty great down the field, but just critical mistakes and critical moments. Ty just launches one, an overshot, nearly picked off. Overshot his intended target. There's still 2 seconds left. LaShawn coverage.
I mean, they're throwing into a veteran secondary. It goes without saying that are pretty good at running after they get an interception. So you don't want to punt it to them on this play.
This is essentially an arm punt, but you got to tackle in case Patak throws an interception. You got one on the last drive, deep shot. That pass is hauled in to Gus Scott, so that'll be a stat pattern. Scott's first catch on 3 targets tonight, as Patak completes his 9th pass on 17 attempts. That's the end of the first half, and it didn't go the way we thought it was going to go. Seattle scored on their opening drive and then got a couple of straight stops, but then after that, it was all Baltimore, 24-7. If Keenan Samuels is not the first half player of the game, I'm going to riot.
You're going to... I mean, the entire unit of the defensive unit of Baltimore has been playing lights out. I mean, both sides of the ball. I mean, we've been seeing plays run to perfection. Every person knows what their role is, how to execute. Perfect blocking for the running backs, Murray and Gaines. I mean, this has just been. They started out with, looks like maybe they were off a little bit. Baltimore was at the beginning of the game, but they quickly settled in, and now it's just it's lights out.
Now the key.
Seattle's got to figure out somehow what adjustments they need to make to defend against this team, this Baltimore, the champions. I mean, they 5-time champions. They're well coached, and I wasn't expecting them to come out playing anything less than they are now.
Wow, Pauly Truth, 108 yards and a touchdown. I get it. Keenan Samuels gets my vote for your first half player of the game. And Seattle's, it's going to be critical to see how this third quarter goes, Charles, because you know that there's going to be some adjustments. You know that they're going to try and figure out how to slow down T-Roy Gaines and how to make Jack Wigmore a little bit more uncomfortable. If they don't have an answer, early on in the second half, it could be trouble. They're down big.
And I'm trying to think of what I would do in that situation if I was the defensive coordinator. And, they're playing so well on run and pass plays that, you're really going to have to gamble.
Oh, goodness. And look at Holder getting the ball all the way out to the 38-yard line. And that gets Baltimore excellent field position. Best kick return by either team of the night.
So let's add special teams as well. That the special teams unit of Baltimore's playing well, too.
So we could hold her out to the sideline. 259 yards of offense for Baltimore. 177 came in that second quarter. That's almost impossible to have 177 yards of offense in one quarter. They averaged 7.7 yards per play. First and 10 of the 38. Trips left. Handoff. Murray's got a huge lane to run through. Gets 4.
Incredible.
After that was quickly closed down by Frosty.
I could have drove a Zamboni through that and made 5 yards. That was a huge
hole. You need a license to drive a Zamboni? Is that a thing?
No.
No? You can just buy one? And
no. I don't know. I don't have a license, though.
Second and 6. Handoff to Gaines. Gaines cuts it back inside and gets a long 3, a short 4. It's third and about 3 coming up.
Yeah, and the whole playbook's open, Cam. On the offensive side. I mean, holy mackerel.
It sure is. I mean, Baltimore's been living in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, and Seattle's been in 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14, 3rd and 16. 3rd down and 2. Seattle's gotten off the field once in this spot. Not this time. T-Roy Gaines gets a few blocks and gets all the way down to the Seattle 40-yard line.
Again, I've said it all night. Very smart runner. I'm sounding like a broken record. He did a quick, just a bit of a pause, letting the blocker open up that hole for him, and that helped him get an additional 5 yards in that run, I think.
8:40 to go in the third quarter. Seattle searching for answers as Baltimore's come out in some heavier looks tonight than they showed in week 1. And it's given Seattle all kinds of fits. 2 backs in the backfield. Mac Chima going to go in motion. Irvin's got 3 catches. Chima's got 4, your new leader. David Anderson with 2. Murray with 2. Gaines with 1. And Murray takes the handoff. Frosty there again to make the stop. TJ Frosty, after taking that first stiff arm from Gaines, has had a good night. 2nd and 5.
Yeah, tough man. That hit didn't impact him at all. Standing in there making those great tackles. But hey, so Cam, remember in prior seasons, we would see those power I formations almost on every series, and now it looks like Baltimore's the only team I see using it this season.
Wigmore's pass incomplete. Very, very tight coverage on Ivory Irvin. Irvin now just 3 catches on 6 targets. They'll set up 3rd down and 5. And yeah, that's the interesting thing about this season, Charles, because I mean that it's tipping your hand. I think a lot of expert coaches would tell you what strategy Baltimore's come out with. It's now a strategy that's on everybody's radar for the rest of the season. So we'll see at what points Seattle tries to bring it out in the future. But now a 3rd down and 5 for Wigmore. He's in some trouble. Wigmore deep down the field, incomplete again. Tight coverage. Daley Holder was the intended receiver, and Seattle's defense gets off the field.
Yeah, credit to the safeties of Seattle. Bryant James, great coverage. The other core out there, Frosty as well, and Doug Day, they were able to blanket those wide receivers, and Wigmore just didn't have any options.
It's Baltimore have to punt. Matty Coffins, in his first punt, got it inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. This is going to be a fair catch called for at the 13-yard line. So twice. I mean, look, Charles, Seattle's had terrible field position all night. Their average at this point is probably got to be about their own 21-yard line. Nothing's been easy.
No, not at all. And Ty Patak has started out hot, and he cooled off a little bit here at the end of the second half. Excuse me, the end of the first half. Let's see if these adjustments we've been talking about show on the field.
Patak in trouble. Saron Yates, the 4th, gets the sack. The 4th different player for Baltimore with a sack tonight. Ugly loss of 5.
Yeah, the defensive line and on the linebacking core of Baltimore is putting on a clinic on how to rush the quarterback. The offensive line for Seattle is just they're looking for answers on how to stop them.
2nd and 15, 7:23 to go in the third. Another 2nd and long situation for Ty Patak. He's in trouble at his 1-yard line. That pass is incomplete. 3rd and long now coming up.
he barely escaped the defensive end Brady coming in on a with his afterburners on. Just the last second got rid of the ball, but it didn't give Patak enough time to set up that play.
Just behind the chains all night. 3rd and long. More pressure on Patak, who's fallen down to 9 of 18 passing. Showing blitz. They bring it.
Heat.
Baltimore down. Patak caught short by a yard of the first down marker. Ryan Arlovsky's first catch. That is close. I think it's the right call, though.
Yeah, that's close. Very close. But, wow, what a pass by Patak. He's been under duress all game, and when he's able to deliver, if he gets just the right amount of time, he is deadly.
And more pressure now back on the Seattle defense. At this point, 45-36, the play advantage for Baltimore. And they're going to expand on that advantage here. Deep kick. Room to return for Irvin from the 33-yard line. Gets it up to the 39-yard line. In the last 2 quarters, though, it's a 30-20 advantage for Baltimore. That's where they've made their work.
Yeah, if the defense of Seattle's not there yet, they're quickly at a point where they need to get a turnover in order to get this game back. I mean, Baltimore's just moving down the field at will. They need to kind of dig deep in there and get the ball back in their offense.
1st and 10 at the 39. Wigmore going to start the drive with a pass. Dupinoff short, nearly intercepted. Oh, Doug Day almost had a pick 6. That would have been a game changer.
Yeah, at this point of the game, I mean, it's a pass deflection, but at this point of the game, Day needs to hold on to that to get the Seattle offense back out there and get some momentum on their side.
2nd and 10. Seattle's defense definitely looks a little bit better here in the 3rd quarter, but their offense not doing them any favors. 2nd and long, showing blitz. They back off. Wigmore rolls past. Oh, Ivor Irvin! That is sick!
Unbelievable.
He is ill! Oh, my goodness! One-handed, then cuts it up the sideline. That may be the best catch all season.
I couldn't speak. I thought he was out of bounds. I was like, did he stay in bounds after he caught that? That was just amazing. And it was a perfect setup as well for the rollout for Wigmore. Again, everyone on the line did what they needed to do to sell that rollout. And again, Seattle's got to do something here to disrupt this offense of Baltimore.
That is your nice hands catch of the game, if I've ever seen one. Brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K 23. Screen is incomplete. Wigmore overthrew Warren Murray, 2nd down. God.
Cam, I'm scratching my head. I mean, that last play was fantastic, but I'm surprised Baltimore's not, going back to the ground and pound.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised as well.
I mean, you're basically putting it on a hook for them to bite,
Yep.
For the Seattle defense to bite. You don't want to give them a turnover.
For receivers, 2nd down and 10. Chima goes in motion to set up a 2-by-2 look of sorts. 3-down lineman for Seattle. They're in a 3-2 look. Wigmore is in a bit of trouble. That pass is off the hands of the intended receiver and incomplete. Chima was the intended target. 3rd down and 10. It's passing down.
Yeah, and here we go. This is proof time for Seattle defense. 3rd and 10. Their offense needs to get the ball back to stay in this game, and let's see if they can rise up and make it happen.
They're still outside of field goal range, so Seattle could, for the 2nd straight time, get off the field despite Baltimore being in their territory. Wigmore rolls out to the right, fires down the field, caught Irvin at the 12. Oh, man, what a dart.
Unfair, Cam. He was the defender couldn't have done anything different other than, take his shoes off. I mean, there's no that was a perfectly executed play, but the defense wasn't that bad. I mean, it threw it only where the wide receiver could catch it. I mean, golly, if you're Seattle defense, you got to be frustrated at this point.
So now a 2nd down and 21, 5.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. 24-7. The handoff goes to Kimbrell, who's been a bit quiet tonight. Gets the ball to the 9-yard line for Hubba. That was just his 2nd carry of the night.
Yeah, Hubba is one large specimen at 250. I thought that was T-Roy Gaines after a meal when he came out there. I had to do a double take.
5:06 left in the third. Baltimore really trying to put the boot on the neck of Seattle. Roll out, Wigmore's pass tipped, incomplete. Excellent deflection there from Seattle's secondary. That was Daniel Valentine, who's been a bit quiet, which is always good for a corner.
Again, I don't know why they keep passing it, but they're giving Seattle an opportunity to shine, and the last thing you want to do is get some momentum back to Seattle. So I know they have to pass on this down, but
balanced offense, 25 runs, 23 passes so far. Wigmore takes a deep drop back, and that's why you keep passing. Touchdown, Mac Chima.
That's why I should stop talking.
The route is on.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I guess eventually they're gonna hit goal if they keep doing what they know how to do. It's just so frustrating because Chima was well covered on the goal line. I think the only thing you could knock Seattle defense was that they're not putting any pressure on Wigmore.
Yeah, they didn't really have anybody in the middle of the field either, so that in cut a perfect route in that situation. Irvin 5 for 100. Chima 5 for 77 and a touchdown. That dynamic duo on the outside. The extra point is good for Baltimore. 31-7. This game has gotten away from Seattle, quite frankly, just like the first meeting, Charles. And I know it was a few seasons ago, but Seattle took their worst loss as a franchise, 45-7, to this Baltimore team, and we're not too far off from that now with 15 minutes to play.
No, we're not. I mean, Seattle the defense needs to start putting their hands on Jack Wigmore. I don't think they've had a sack at all tonight, and I don't even think Wigmore's been in duress at all in those passing plays.
Fullerton on another return and gets picked up and thrown down at the 27-yard line. Excellent play there by Sullivan Tyson, the rookie.
Yeah, that was a Worldwide Wrestling Federation move right there, picking him up and throwing him back down.
Oof.
Holy smokes.
Good play
you
by
could hurt
Tyson.
Somebody doing that.
Yeah, good play by Tyson on special teams. Nice to see rookies out there making the most of their opportunities. I know it's a tough league out there, Charles. You're a general manager, so you've talked to a lot of these players. I mean, it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of players in the league. It's hard to make an impact, or harder than it's ever been, really, and it's a nice play by Tyson there. Truth goes in motion. 1st and 10 of the 27. And Patak dumps it off. Blue Scott makes the catch this time. 5-yard gain to settle some things down. Look, there is still a lot of time in this game, Charles. If Seattle could put the touchdown drive together, I feel like they've been playing a little bit better defensively, but just got to put something together. Stay ahead of the sticks, too.
I mean, you're not gonna score 24 points in one drive, so you gotta, one drive at a time, you gotta execute.
Scott gets 3.5, and now Seattle faced with something they haven't seen a lot tonight. 3rd and short. They have not been able to establish a run game. Scott, 33 yards on 8 carries. And look, Doyle had the 1 carry for 4 yards, but the last time they got him the ball, he fumbled. And so there he is this time, picking up a 1st down. That'll build some confidence.
Yeah, Doyle made up for it. Yeah, like I said, throw it to him, on a swing pass, on a screen. I think he could be deadly if they use him in that fashion.
3:50 left in the 3rd. Type attack changing the play at the line. Will Baltimore bring some pressure? They do. And Patak rolled right into it and just got it away to Gus Scott. That was a dangerous play. Wow, the stones of Patak on that one were impressive.
He could smell Brady's breath when he was rushing him, almost hit him. I can't believe how disciplined Patak is with the amount of blitzing has been thrown at him tonight.
He is a special talent, and it has been an incredibly difficult night for Patak and this Seattle offense. They're doing the best they can at the moment as Patak has to just sling it down the field, get rid of it, and Pauly Truth got popped by Troy Loshaw.
Yeah, the defensive tackle on that one, I don't think an offensive lineman even knew he was on the line. He just went straight downfield towards the quarterback, and Patak, I think, saw his life flash before his eyes.
2nd and 10. 3:09 left to go in the third. Patak and a throw again. Pressure, sacked.
Wow.
Loss of 2 coming around the end. Al Walker, can you believe it? The 5th different Vulture with a sack.
Al Walker is blazing fast for a defensive end. I'm surprised he hasn't had a couple sacks tonight the way that line's been playing, but I think they've maybe been focusing on him, and this late in the game, maybe they kind of let off on him a little bit.
3rd and 12. Seattle is 3 for 8 on 3rd down, and Patak is sacked again. And it's Samuels, and it's a punt.
I mean, they've been sending people in every play, and there's no answer that Seattle can come up with to stop that pass rush. I mean, it's not on Patak. I mean, he's doing the best he can. They got to find some way, somehow, to stop that pass rush of Baltimore. It's just killer tonight.
Baloo Scott just failed to pick up the blitz, and Seattle hasn't had much of a screen game either, and that's kind of what you need in these moments. Look at that. Seattle's special teams gets down the field, actually gets some hands on Ivory Irvin so that he couldn't make the catch, and then Bryant James gets down the field and downs the football at about the 8-yard line. Good special teams there from Seattle.
Here's the defense again. Again, they got to be, they have to be gassed at this point.
First and 10 at the 8. Hand off to Murray, and Murray picks up 6. It's not the most talented front statistically, Charles, by the numbers for Baltimore's defense, but what the linebackers are able to create out of these blitz packages, the opportunities that they're able to create, just helps everybody eat.
And they're doing this against the Seattle defense, and that Seattle defense is no joke. I mean, they've got some very highly rated players on pretty much every team on there, the defensive line, linebacker, and the secondary.
Gaines takes the carry, so the 3rd down and short coming up. That's Gaines' 13th touch of the night. He's just over 70 yards, 72 yards. Murray's 12 for 55. Bubba Kimbrell a little bit more quiet tonight, 2 for 9. 3rd down and 1. 1:20 to go in the third. Handoff Gaines, and Gaines is short, and Seattle gets the stop. Doug Day with the stop, and Baltimore's been a little bit, when they've gone into sort of these heavy packages, they've been a little bit predictable, and Seattle's definitely keyed on it better in the second half.
Yeah, they needed this big time. I mean, there's still plenty of time in the game to put some more points on the board, and the defense did what they had to do.
Return from the 38, John Fullerton got a block. Fullerton's still on his feet, and he got to the 46. Man, he almost got away. It was a nice return from John.
Yeah, I mean, perfect setup there in decent field position, and they got to be looking at putting something on the board at this point in the game.
This is by far the best starting field position that Seattle has had tonight. 47 seconds left.
Yeah, definitely.
They have to stay ahead of the chains. Try and get Scott involved, but that's tough to do when you're down by 24. As Scott goes in motion, Patak's hit 6 different receivers tonight, 13 of 23 for 207. And just the one pick despite all the pressure. Wow, Gus Scott took that one out of the sky, gets 7.
And the defense of Baltimore is not giving are allowing the offense of Seattle to develop their routes. I mean, there's no time at all to get rid of that ball, so the only thing that's available are those short dumps.
2nd and 3. Handoff, Scott. Scott breaks a tackle, gets the first down. That could be the method to the madness for Seattle down the stretch here, trying to get that short passing game going, and Ballou's very capable, super talented back.
Yeah, I mean, both Ballou and Doyle, I mean, they can do it. I think that's the answer for the type of defense that Baltimore's throwing at them.
7 in the box, handoff Doyle, and Doyle's smothered. A 2-yard pickup. That is the end of the third quarter. Things stabilized just a bit, but Baltimore is still rolling, 31-7 here on the Monday Night Spectacular. The Vultures looking for their first win of the season. We're back right after this.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Second and 8 at the Baltimore 40-yard line. Charles Doherty, Cameron Irvine with you. Rochelle Colston, Justin reside in our stat truck. Ron Haynes, our eyes out there, our eagle eyes as needed. 2nd and 8 for Seattle. Patak on a roll to his left. Has all kinds of time. That is the most comfortable Patak has looked all night. Pauly Truth with another catch.
Seattle can do that too. Baltimore's been running that rollout all night, but they found something when looking at the tape and perfectly executed. I mean, we've been saying that about Baltimore all night, and I think Seattle deserved one.
I don't know what Ty Patak must have felt on that play, having nobody in front of him. He obviously didn't see any ghosts because he completed the pass, but I sure would if I was him after tonight. Patak drops the throw, dumps it off. Scott looking for some help and is smothered for a 2-yard loss. Keenan Samuels was over there again on the stop along with another Vulture. We don't have this stat, but I would love to see the average yards per play on first down for Seattle tonight. It's been trouble.
Definitely, can't be too high.
2nd and 12. Patak back to pass. Clean pocket.
Time.
And Patak in zone. Incomplete. Elijah Warfield all over Pauly Truth. 3rd and long coming up.
That was close. In the end zone. Let's see how clean this was.
Oof.
Yeah, perfect timing by Warfield.
Oh, you got to catch that.
He knows what he's doing.
Good coverage by Warfield, but Pauly Truth, I mean, he had it in his mitts. That's a tough break.
Definitely. It was one of the few plays where they only sent 4 after the quarterback.
Yep. And look, I mean, Seattle needs, even if they get a field goal out of this and make it a 3-score game, and they get some points and a little bit of momentum here, can't take a sack. Gus Scott goes in motion. Keenan Samuels threatening from the outside. Here he comes. Patak nearly sacked by Samuels, with the pass hauled in by Fullerton as Ty Patak took a lick.
Yeah, good on Seattle on that one, because Keenan Samuels was hungry for some quarterback and went right up the gap, and I thought that was going to be disaster.
He is beating that tackle just about every time on those 3rd down plays. And look, because it's 3rd and long, Charles, Patak doesn't have any help. They don't have any extra blockers. It's not a heavy set. So, I mean, he's having to just stand in there and take some big shots. Kudos to Patak for hanging in there once again. 16-27. Again, blitz, screen. There it is. Ballou Scott, great open field tackle. That's the play you want in that situation. Frank Smith with a great wrap up, his 7th.
Yeah, also curious to see how maybe a draw play might work. Lining up in shotgun and on one of the early downs and sending it up the middle.
2nd to go off the completion.
But nobody listens to me.
Don't get so down on yourself, Charles. Positivity. Second to go with the 6. Harrison goes in motion. Split backs here for Seattle. Looking for their first points of the second half. Dime look. Patak rolls. Patak throws. Fires. Incomplete.
Oh.
Knocked away More terrific coverage. Ben stacking paper. 3rd and goal.
Yeah, they had that red. I mean, as soon as they saw him rolling out, they had 3 defenders in that area. They were able to shut that down.
3rd and goal for Seattle. 4 wide receivers in the pattern. Not looking like a blitz here out of the Vultures. No, they do come with it. Patak's got to get rid of it. Patak is sacked. Keenan Samuels, a coverage sack there for Baltimore.
It was Bolt. It looked like Bolt and Samuels tag team there to do another WWF reference. I'm getting flack for not saying WWE. Can't.
I mean,
but anyway,
look at all the receivers.
He didn't have any time at all. Not at all.
Well, we saw it from both the right side angle and the left side angle. Nobody was open. They were all pretty much blanketed. Seattle will settle for 3, which I think is the smart play there. But, yeah, Charles, I mean, what is Ty supposed to do? When you've got blitzers coming in from the left and the right, it's hard to escape the pocket. And when nobody's open down the field, that's just huge props to the Baltimore secondary.
I mean, maybe a veteran quarterback could call out where the blitz is coming from. They could do a block adjustment on the line. But, I mean, short of that, it's really on the offensive line for not keeping their quarterback upright.
31-10 after the field goal from Victor Ironleg as Holder gets it up to the 28-yard line. So at this point, it's a 3-score game. Things have kind of settled down for Seattle. The second half scoring is only 7-3 in favor of Baltimore. But if Seattle could get, I mean, we saw Doug Day almost with a pick 6. If they just could get something explosive defensively, I mean, there's still 7 minutes left here.
Well, the last series, Baltimore was throwing it a lot, and I would have maybe ran it a little bit more, but they're giving them an opportunity to get the ball back. It's just has to be capitalized on by Seattle.
8 in the box, single high here for the Nemesis defensively. 7:15 left in the 4th quarter. They'll hand it off to Warren Murray against that stacked box. And he'll pick up 4. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection. State-of-the-art technology and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. 2nd and 6.
They could visit Simulation because the link to APM's there too. So
well, that's true. Public curtain brawl.
It really wasn't a mistake. Don't be hard on yourself.
Positivity. 3rd and 6. Aaron Gooden with the stop. Coming up on Friday, Charles, action gets started in Charleston. The 0-2 Predators taking on the 1-1 Arizona Scorpions. And boy, does Charleston, all I know is if they see 23-20 on the board again, they're going to start getting real itchy. Minnesota hosts Mexico City. Aztecs coming off a bye. That pass is incomplete, so Seattle gets a stop. Saturday, Alamo City takes on Houston. Battle of undefeateds in the South. That's going to be a good one. India, Jacksonville, San Diego, Portland, Louisiana, Denver. And then Sunday, you got Baltimore at Canton as the Vultures try and figure out Canton's elite defense in the first 2 weeks. Tulsa takes their red-hot offense off the bye to Motor City to take on the V8s. Carolina goes to D.C. L.A. is at Atlanta. And our game next Monday is Fort Worth at Florida. And that'll be Florida coming off of a bye after playing on opening night in week 1, Charles. A 16-day break to prepare for the Toros.
And that's going to be a good one. That is going to be a good one, my friend.
Get the Toros twice in 3 weeks. They gave us a good show.
Yeah.
In week 1, E.J. Minson and Stephen Hacker. Whew. That was wild.
Yeah. I'm still a huge fan of their number 5 wide receiver.
Lily Nakai, of course. How could we forget? Type attack. Gus
there you
Scott.
go.
Baltimore's got defenders now diving at the legs of type attack. But first down, Seattle. They got a defensive stop, and here we go.
I mean, I think what kept that alive was that little slide that Patak did. That's just pocket presence. He knew a couple steps to the left is going to give him time and let his wide receiver get open. I mean, that's another veteran move by Patak.
5:48 to go in the fourth. Draw and stuffed.
There you go.
Al Walker.
Oh.
Man, made a great play. Nice. I was with you, Charles. I liked the little mix-up there, but Al Walker, too good.
Yeah, well, maybe a little late in the game for it, but hey, what the heck.
Keep him on their toes and Patak on his feet as that pass is off target. Looking for, I believe it was Truth again over the field. And you could see, Charles, the effect that the passing or the pass rush is having on Ty with that inaccurate throw. There is wide open.
Yeah, he's definitely he can hear the footsteps back there. They almost got him again on that one.
4 receivers, 3rd down and 9 for Seattle. 4 for 11 on 3rd down. They bring nearly everybody. It's picked up, but the pass is inaccurate again from Ty. Fullerton was the intended target. Seattle out to punt the ball away, and that may dash the comeback hopes.
Yeah, I mean, they have to do. I know it's late in the game, but there should have been some type of adjustment for that blitz, like a go route or something, or a fade route, where he would know he could just throw it to where the one-on-one coverage is.
I mean, if you're Baltimore, as Irvin on the punt return gets a strong one all the way out to the 25-yard line. If you're Baltimore, and I mean, look at the tape, look at the analytics. Your defensive backs are probably winning every matchup on the outside with Seattle's receivers. So play man, right? Play man and blitz everybody because your DBs can handle it. That's what Baltimore's done tonight, and it's worked.
Yep. I mean, it builds up a heck of a lot of confidence for your secondary when your defensive coach is putting you out there on man, because they know that you can do your job one-on-one against their best.
At the end of the day, Seattle has held their own. More passing yards tonight than Wigmore, and 279 here. Warren Murray's best run of the night, so there's your broadcaster jink there, all the way to the 43-yard line. 1st down, and Murray and T. Roy Gaines now going back and forth who's going to be our rushing leader tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just keep handing it off and fire up the bus. There's no need to throw any deep passes at this point.
Well, Charles, congrats on the another victory for Vancouver, 2-0 this week. Beat Mike O'Neill's San Diego Mavericks, who talked about their struggles in pregame, but Legion are off to a 2-0 start. You're back to kind of where it all began. I remember as Kimball takes the handoff and picks up 4, I remember making the unwise decision of inviting you over to watch a Legion game many moons ago, and I thought I was going to get a noise complaint. You were slamming down on my apartment floor so loud.
Definitely get into the games.
Get hyped for those
games. The dog goes to the other side of the house when she knows I'm watching a game.
Yeah, it's me too. Me too. 2nd down and 6. I remember it was Atlanta too, and boy, y'all played good that day as well. 2nd and 6, 4:10 to go in the 4th quarter. Baltimore playing out the stretch here as Murray takes the handoff and will pick up a couple more. So another chance for Seattle's defense to get off the field. Now, if I'm Seattle tonight, Charles, I think the biggest takeaway I would take from this game is we have to make sure if teams look at Baltimore's tape and think, well, we can do that too against Seattle, got to have an answer for it, right? Because I think Seattle a bit blindsided tonight. Baltimore brought out some new stops tonight, so kudos to them. But I think if that's one takeaway from Seattle, got to establish a run game and just help make things a little bit easier on Patak.
Well, I'm sure they already know, Cam, but they've got a keeper at quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, been able to stand in there under heavy fire. Oh, boy, there you go.
There's a fumble and recovered by Seattle. So Doug Day with the fumble recovery. James Ramos forces the fumble on Hubba Kimbrell. Here's another look at it.
Yeah, the rookie. Big play by the rookie causing that turnover, and Doug Day executes. I mean, that's we've been talking all game. That's what they needed, and I guess better late than never. Let's see if they can capitalize on it.
Jason Miller, I'm so glad to hear these two back in the booth again. Brings back memories for us too, Jason. Certainly. Nice play there from the rookie, James Ramos. making an impact here with about 3 minutes to go. Patak drops to throw, laser
There
to
you go.
John Fullerton to the 31-yard line, and here's the hurry up. Patak putting together. I mean, despite all the pressure, the fact he only has one interception is kind of insane. As Patak drops to throw, and that is incomplete. And that one interception, Charles, was on that crazy, just individual, tremendous play by Keenan Samuels. I mean, Ty could not have seen that coming.
Yeah, I think he was just dumping it off, and he didn't see the defender there. So, I mean, chalk that up, one mistake. But again, I mean, if you would have told me he was going to get sacked 7 times, I'd think there'd be at least 3 or 4 interceptions on the books.
3:08 to go in the fourth quarter. Leading receiver is Polytruth, 5 for 114. Fullerton just behind him, 3 for 65. Play fake, totally fooled the pass rush.
There you go.
And John Fullerton gets into the 15-yard line. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, I mean, he can. The good news is Patak can pretty much execute any offense you put out there for him. So, from good pass. Wow.
Fullerton down to the 2.
They just need to tweak their offense a little bit. I mean, they've got. I think they're close, but I think they're going to learn a lot from this game.
Pass incomplete, looking for Blackwell, so it's going to be 2nd down and goal. 2:43 left. Can't totally count him out just yet. Touchdown, onside kick recovery, and you just never know sometimes. That would be one heck of a heroic effort. Ty Patak has had to put on the cape a number of times tonight. 2nd down and goal. Fullerton's up to 4 catches for 82 yards. Patak out of the shotgun. Back to throw, quick drop back, fires. Oh, just short of the goal line. Ben Harrison makes the catch. No. But down, marked at about that's a bad spot. Down about where the line of scrimmage was.
That was horrible.
2-yard line. Patak 3rd down and goal. Quick throw, tried to set it up again.
Oh, no.
And it looked like the receiver could have been interfered with. No call. They're going to have to go for it on 4th and goal.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Maybe they ran into another player or something, but definitely was looking for somebody there, and there was a soup sandwich there in the middle of the field.
Baltimore looking for a goal line stand to close out their terrific night. 31-10, 4th and goal. Ty Patak out of the gun. Drops to throw. Patak, corner of the end zone. Incomplete!
Nice. Oh, no!
Fullerton hit it and knocked away by Stack and Paper. What a brilliant play.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much been that one play kind of encapsulates the whole night for the offense of Seattle. They needed to get some points on the board here, but I think right now we can safely say that it's Baltimore's game.
Great throw by Ty, out and away, just like you want it. But Fullerton could not reel it in. Stack and Paper gets the mitts in there just at the last second. What a stand for Baltimore's defense. Now they got to get out of their own end zone. Good push up front by the defensive line. Gaines will pick up about 1.5 yards. Citrion on the stop.
Maybe they can cause a turnover here if Baltimore goes to the passing well again. But I don't think it's a bad idea to just run it and punt it if you need to.
2-minute warning. Wow, Baltimore 31-10. Seattle has not made it easy on them. Baltimore on their way to 1-1, headed to Canton next week to take on those 2-0 Canton Classics. That is your Sunday 6:30 Eastern game. The Houston Alamo City Battle of Undefeateds is your Saturday 6:30 Eastern game. Going to be a good time in both of those matchups as T. Roy Gaines is strung out. Seattle will burn a timeout to try and get the ball back here.
That run was like 3 minutes.
It did take a minute. I don't think T. Roy's breaking any records on the treadmills at the gym.
It took a long time for that play to end.
17 for 77 and 2 touchdowns. Pretty nice night for T. Roy all the same. 3rd down. Ackerman's going to go in motion. Seattle looking for a stand. Baltimore tonight on 3rd down is 6 of 12. Seattle's done a pretty decent job. 0 for 2 in the 4th quarter is Baltimore on 3rd down, and Murray will not get there. So Seattle forces yet another punt, this time out of the shadow of Baltimore's own end zone. So Fullerton will have
plenty of time for them to close the gap.
Yeah, decent room to
I
return.
think Seattle's going to bye next week, right, Cam?
Yes, I believe so. Seattle Seattle on a bye next week. Yep, you are right. And their next game, I'll get that pulled up here. Seattle's next game is hosting Tulsa February 3rd. It's going to be a...
Oh, wow, okay.
They get a couple weeks to prepare for Gabriel Manning and what they're going to do about him. Fullerton gets up to the Baltimore.
You're going to need a couple weeks.
yeah, for sure. Manning and Michael Brown, wow, what a connection in week one. And it's easy, Charles, to forget about teams like that on their bye week. I mean, Tulsa gets the unfortunate draw of the early week 2 bye, and we're not talking about them, but they were probably the most impressive team from week 1.
Yeah, unstoppable. On that passing offense was unstoppable.
And Seattle, a long time to think about this one. Another blitz from Baltimore, and that's a pick.
Oh, no.
Overshot his intended receiver, stacking paper with the interception, and that time it bit Ty Patak, the pressure anyway, and Baltimore will take over.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. Second mistake for Ty, but overall, I think he's opened my eyes as far as what he can do in the pocket. So just put more of a better scheme to protect him and give him some routes for safety. I think he'll be opening some eyes.
I'm not sure if Baltimore will quite close this thing out, but they're not going to take any chances, especially with that Hubba Kimbrell fumble a couple drives ago. At the end of the day, Charles, one thing that Seattle can hang their hat on is they did properly make adjustments. Baltimore scored just 7 points in the second half. They threw a lot at Seattle tonight that they did not maybe see in week 1, and that's just as well as anybody else, Charles, that's difficult to handle.
Yeah, I mean, they did make adjustments, but I think it showed on one side of the ball. I mean,
yeah,
they needed to do something on the defense to slow down that Baltimore offense too. So, I mean, it's unfortunate. I think Seattle's a really good team, and I think I asked about the bye because I think that's good for them to give them more time to plan against Tulsa. And I made the comment about Baltimore coming off a loss, not one to face them. I think you can say maybe not with as much conviction, but you can't say you probably don't want to face Seattle, and they have a good 2 weeks to prep.
Early thoughts on Fort Worth and Florida next week, Charles? It's a rematch of the semifinal last season, or actually no, Fort Worth and Florida didn't end up actually meeting the top 2 seeds in the tournament, so we get to see maybe a championship matchup we never got to see last season.
I think it's going to be similar to the game that we did opening night, that Monday night game with Alamo City and Fort Worth. I think it's going to be a prize fight, and I think it's going to be decided by a field goal at maybe even an overtime.
Should be a fun one. Florida 23-20 victory. Fort Worth's got an 8 and a 12-point win to start the season, so both teams will be unbeaten when we see them on Monday night, and that's coming up next week. So 11 seconds left. Ty Patak's evening. It's pretty nice stat padding night. 21 of 41, 313, but Baltimore has rendered him somewhat inefficient down the field. Fullerton and Truth over 100 passing yards. Can't wait to see Keenan Samuel's final stat line tonight, but unofficially right now we have him for 9 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, as that's nearly picked off, and an interception for Samuels. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I think we went on and on all night about the defense of Baltimore and how they basically set the tone of the game, going in and hitting Patak on almost every play. But you have to tip your cap to the offensive line for Baltimore. I mean, not one sack of Jack Whitmore. The running game was in gear. There you go.
And that's going to cap it. Wow. With 1 second to spare, Enzo Bolt with a pick 6. And sadly for Seattle, that's going to make the things look a little bit uglier than they actually were. But great play by Enzo there.
Yeah, I mean, I said earlier in the game, when you throw an interception to Baltimore, they know how to take it to the house. They've shown they have a history of doing that. But, I was going to say that the offensive line for Baltimore really did a great job tonight, protecting their quarterback and also making huge holes for the running backs to have a very good night. 200 plus yards, 206 yards all night. That's of rushing. That's a pretty good night.
That's the third different player with an interception for Baltimore tonight. They had 5 different players deflect a pass. They had 7 different defenders with a tackle for loss, 5 different defenders with a sack. It was a total team effort out there for these Vultures. Thanks to Rochelle Colston and Justin Reside for providing awesome stats all night long for us in the truck, and Ron Haynes giving us some extra eyes and ears tonight with Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk off this evening. That return gets it out of the 20-yard line, and that is your ball game, 38-10. Who's your player of the game, Charles? It's going to be a tough one tonight.
I have to give it to Keenan Samuels, the outside linebacker for Baltimore, with 5 tackles for a loss, 1 interception, 3 sacks. I mean, that's a banner day for him.
There's a look at the final stats, 408 to 334. Seattle finishes 4 of 12 on third down, and I'm with you on Samuels. Let's take a look at his final numbers here. Samuels going to be credited 9 total tackles, 4 sacks, an interception, and 6 tackles for loss, 4 more than any other player, and that is the most this season by any player. Frosty finishes with 10 tackles to lead all players tonight. Pretty nice night. Fullerton Truth over 100 yards. Gaines finishes with 77. Murray finishes with 76. Well, any last words, Charles, before we sign off?
Impressive win by Baltimore. Don't count out Seattle at this point. It's a long season. Again, impressive defense showing and running game for Baltimore. I mean, I just... keep your eyes on Baltimore. You do that every season, but they really know what they're doing, and they showed it on the field tonight.
Sure do. 38-10, Vultures beat Seattle. We'll see you next Monday night, Fort Worth and Florida, Battle of Unbeatens. It's going to be a great week 3. For Charles, I'm Cam, Ray, Justin. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here, and have a great week. See you Friday.